So this is the back of the solar panel. I haven't done a ton of these, so I can't say that. I mean, there's not other ways to do these brackets, but anyway, yeah, I just put them in like this, and one bolt through the panel, 4 of them, and then got self-tapping screws that go right through the roof. So, and those screws have little rubber seals on them, but also we're going to just put plenty of caulking on the surface here and kind of stick them down to that too, and so that they'll be sealed up real good for the holes. And I'm going to haul them up here in a few minutes. And
a new place, a new home for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt.
So yeah, I've already got up there and cleaned the roof off on the top of the RV, and I'm going to do a few other caulking projects while I'm up there with caulking, and so I'll do that with the solar panels, and already pushed the wire through, so I'll caulk up that hole, just do all the caulking at one time. So it's a cooler day here, and so a good day to do this kind of stuff, so getting a lot done. So I noticed when I was washing this roof that a little bit of water was getting trapped under this thing, and you could tell the screws were getting real rusty, and it was definitely time to take this old little tiny solar panel off. It's not doing anything anymore anyways, it's all totally ruined. So yeah, I was able to grab it and pull it off, and cleaned it up and pulled the screws out, and so I can let this, it's super dry here, so these screw holes, there's a little moisture in them, I think, from just washing this thing, and it's definitely going to let that dry out and caulk it up and cut this guy off and caulk up the old hole from the wire. But I've already hauled the panels up here now, got help with that, and so I'm going to kind of get them positioned where I want them, and also be considerate of the fact that there's actually, this wire is heavy enough, and even with the charge controller I have, there's a possibility of adding more panels easily. So, and I've actually ordered twice as many brackets as I need, so for literally a couple $100 I could almost double the amount of solar. So definitely gonna just keep in mind where like the next 4 panels could go, because it'd be real easy to do. There's tons of room up here. So yeah, just about there. And like I said, when I have the caulking gun out, I'm gonna re-caulk a lot of areas up here, that around a couple hatches, and obviously where the solar panel was, and the front cap and the rear cap. I'd scraped away the caulk where it was failing, and so I'll re-caulk those. So yeah, just a few little things to keep it real fresh. The actual roof is in great shape from the looks of it, so I was thinking I might need to redo the roof, but right now I'm happy with it. So everything's in good condition other than just joints where the caulking's bad, so super easy fix. By the time I'm done up here, she'll be 100%. Oh, and I just put the new hatch cover on this one. This hatch was no good, and there's literally nothing to it. It slides in. There's a little, see how it slides side to side? You literally just slide it in, then you go underneath, and you just have to unscrew a little mechanism to hook it on. It's not even something I need to do a video about, probably. It's literally, you just figure it out, and I mean, you could take the old one off and figure it out super easy. It's not hard. Yeah, so got that guy on there, and that's new. That's nice because it needed to be replaced, and just plugging away at everything. All the awnings and slide toppers and everything are in good shape. So yeah, we're going to be no worries after I leave here, that's for sure. I think I've settled on this as my arrangement because that leaves room right here to squeeze in another panel of the same size if that's what I had. And sorry about all the wind, and then there's tons of room back there for more panels, and there's tons of room up there for more panels. So I don't know if there's anyone who's ever had the desire to like pack this roof full, but this I think is pretty good use of space, so we're gonna do it. So I drew with the magic marker around the tabs and then I just smeared a bunch of caulk down there before I laid these things down. Makes it real easy. Okay, I've got all the panels screwed down and very well caulked up. And I actually went ahead and caulked the front and rear caps in while I had the caulking out. The only other thing I really want to do is scrape and recaulk around these hatches. Well, especially that one over the shower. It's pretty desperate. So still got to get that. Still got to actually wire these, but I've got them, like I said I was going to do 2 and 2. So negative to positive, negative to positive here. So we're going to double the amps and double the voltage by with the 4 panels, and that'll work great. So anyway, yeah, I'll get up here and wire these at some point soon, and before I do that, I'm going to make sure that the wires on the other end are connected and the circuit breaker's off, so that I don't turn anything on until I'm ready. So I got these new crimpers for these MC4 connections, and they're real simple to do. You just strip the wire, and then this one, the male one, is actually for the female fitting, and vice versa. So anyway, I just slide that in there and then fit the crimper on there and crimp it once. I wish I had someone to hold the camera or a tripod. I don't, I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm going to grip that in there and do that. I can't hold the camera and do it, but believe me, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now I have connections here. The only thing I don't have is a branch terminal, a splitter, because I have 2 sets of panels here. You know, I've basically made 4 into 2, so I'm waiting till tomorrow to get those, and then it'll be super simple to hook everything up. Hopefully, sometimes, you know, sometimes things go wrong. We're gonna hope everything goes right here, so I haven't screwed up anything. Yeah, and so by the time the branch connectors arrive tomorrow, I'll be ready to hook everything up and power it up. Okay guys, it's windy up here, but just wanted to show you I got the branch connectors, so now I can hook everything up. So I got both positives hooked to the positive, both negatives hooked to the negative, and I got my connection to down below all ready to go. I'm just going to plug these guys in and we'll go check it out. Okay, so you can see I hooked the negative on up there, hooked the positive on where it's got a direct connection over to the battery. That's the big cable that runs down to the batteries, and so pretty happy with how that's going. Got the fuse right here turned on, powers to this thing. It's in bulk charge mode, so let's look at how much power it's making. Okay guys, so I just connected the Victron app to the Bluetooth solar charge controller, and so we can kind of look at what it's doing now. Right off the bat, you can see 325 watts, so it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and so I don't know, that's after any losses we received, you know, coming down through all the wires and all the way down to the charge controller. I kind of hoped maybe we'd see a little higher than that, you know, kind of the peak time of the day, but still, that's about typical of solar panels. So about 80% of the rating of its rated production. So I mean, I hoped for more, but I didn't expect more. So there's that. So looking down, we got the volts and amps through the line that we were planning for. So we planned for doubling the volts and amps, which exactly we did. So it's coming through at 32 volts and 10 amps. Now our charge controller can handle 100 volts and 30 amps. So the nice thing is we could add quite a bit more solar with the same wire, same charge controller, because I oversized the wire too. So the only thing I couldn't upgrade, or that I couldn't like max out the charge controller with, is I should have bought a better fuse. The fuse is maxing at like 50 volts, I think. So so we'd have to double check that. But anyway, the actual production is further down, and so that's where we can see the battery voltage is currently 13.47, and the current that is being generated is 23 amps. So that's real nice to see. And I haven't reprogrammed this yet. It's actually doing fine. It's in the bulk charge mode, so that's all good. Anyway, yeah, no immediate complaints. Everything's working great. So really interesting. So I've studied up on for a long time I've been following solar panels, and I always read the monocrystalline panels were really kind of at the top of the heap as far as kind of versatility. They absorb more energy at angles, and just kind of overall better production kind of a panel. And a good example of this, it's 7:30 in the morning, and in my experience normally you don't get anything at 7:30 in the morning anytime, even in the middle of summer, and we're making 109 watts at 110 watts at 7:30 in the morning. I mean, the sun's like literally on the horizon, and it's already picking up enough power to run the whole RV. So right now I was checking the RV batteries, and they're not charging or discharging, they're equal. So that's how much I have the TV going and stuff, lights on, and so that's pretty crazy. Crazy good. I'm very impressed with that. So yeah, super happy. Okay guys, another little project I'm working on. This one is one that is so cheap and easy to do, and makes such a difference, you won't even believe it. So I took off all the air conditioner vent covers and washed them, and then I'm starting to repaint them, and I'll show you the difference. It's unbelievable. Okay guys, you can see the difference. It's pretty significant. This plastic yellows so much over time, and then look at the difference in the hatch covers from one that's not painted to one that is. Now the one thing I don't think I can fix is these screens have taken a real beating from the sun, and I got to go online and see if you can just order new screens. I mean, I briefly did that. I couldn't find them, but they've got to be out there. And this one's broken and like half destroyed. So might be better off just trying to order new screens. I'm gonna check that out. But this part's easy to bring back to life. So excited about that. So the RV is a big mess because I've been working my tail off while the weather's cooled down a little bit. And you can see I've painted with new white plastic paint all the vent covers and hatches and all this stuff. Also just barely got, of course, the solar like up and running, and in my free time keeping up on wildling sailing. It's been interesting for me to watch him. Man, he is ambitious when it comes to buying and fixing up a really decrepit boat. So that's been interesting, and also interesting to me because his YouTube channel survived his breakup, and mine's in the process of doing that. I'm going to see how it comes out. So seeing how he's done, and he's actually doing really well with it now. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to end up taking on some sort of difficult boat challenge too, and so I'll probably be in the same boat. So anyway, yeah, so we got that. So this is my attempted tape job, taping the screen separate from the frame, and I mean, it's pretty hard to do, and I didn't do a great job, but compared to buying a new one for 20 bucks, this one is the other side, and it's taped. Now I didn't tape this side because this is the side that faces up, and no one would see it, I guess, so hoping I'm right about that. Anyway, we'll see how this works. So taping off the screens, I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but I mean, really it looks fantastic. All that, there's no evidence of the old yellow plastic anymore, and they are a little brittle because they're aged, but getting the job done right now. So, and then of course repainting this around just looks so much different, so much better. So glad I did that. Anyway, I still have to put the other ones on, but just pop this one on to see. You got to put the little handle for the hatch, but just showing you how it's looking. So I just pulled out the sink, and this is, so far, I shouldn't even say it, but so far it's way easier than I expected. These little guys screwed into the bottom of the sink, so you just had to get under it with a screwdriver and take some of these tabs off. The water just threads right on and off, and the drain just threads off like any normal sink drain, and so I had the whole thing disconnected in like 3 minutes. Then I didn't want to scratch the corian, so I just basically just pulled on the damn sink and pushed on it and just popped right out. So now I'm going to carefully scrape this old caulking off, and there's not tabs on the new sink, but it is so heavy. I'm pretty sure that because the new sink is so much more solid and heavy, that just literally caulking, or maybe some glue, but I think just dropping it in there and then you know, just setting it in there and hooking it up, I don't think it's going to move. I mean, the plastic sink was incredibly stuck on there even without those tabs, so this one is not likely to move. But anyway, I'll show you now on this end what I'm doing. So everything was in good enough shape, I'm just reusing it, and everything's a perfect matchup to the old sink. So so yeah, I set the old sink here, dropped the loosen these two little bolts, drop the faucet out, just push it back on, tighten the bolts again, make sure it looks straight. Unscrewed the stem there, everything was still good, the seals, everything looked great, just popped it right back in there. I mean, I guess I could replace it all. This drain stopper, it's a little corroded, but it's getting the job done also right now, so I mean, not too worried about it for now. I mean, it's an easy thing to change on the road, and I don't have a spare one with me, so heck, I'm just going to pop it right back in there, pop this, you know, caulk, get my good caulking that I'm using up on the roof anyway, and use it to caulk this guy in, and shoot, I'll probably have, with a little luck, have this thing changed out in less than an hour. And what a difference it's going to make. Holy crap, the difference from the white one to the yellow one is absurd. So I think the only part that I will need to replace is this drain. It's corroded enough in there, it doesn't seem to catch on the stopper anymore. I think, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. I can't get it to hold the stopper in anymore, so I'm going to put it in right now because I don't have a spare and I want to be able to hook the water back up, but I can get into the sink and pull that out anytime I want, so that's an easy fix as soon as I go to the store. The rest of it I think is fine, so I can pop that right in there as soon as I do the caulking. Okay, so I'm doing my test fit. Just dropped it in here, I haven't really prepared anything yet, and I can't see any problems. And looking down under here, that stem's exactly where it was. Water pipes I can hook right back up. Yeah, I mean, I can't find a thing wrong. So yeah, let's clean this up, caulk it up, and stick it in here. So I blobbed a lot of caulking on the bottom of this sink because I figure it's easy to wipe up if it's too much and splurges out, but I want to try to get a good seal. So I'm going to plop it in there and see what happens. Okay, so I just set it in here. I haven't done anything else yet. That's pretty good. I guess we're just going to start pressing it in place. And then I'm going to come around and clean up the excess caulk and fill in, because I'll just fill in around the edges there and make sure it's caulked all the way around. But yeah, it's so far so good. So the back side of the little caulk scraper is a little rubber tool which helps you get a beautiful finish. Hope I can do it while I'm filming, but so you can run this on here and get a nice edge on it. And the nice thing is I can use the mirror behind the sink to see how I'm doing. It's still a little messy. I'm going to use this to clean it up, trying to make sure I get a good caulking all the way around it. So anyway, that's all I'm doing, just making it look nice, and this little rubber tool helps a lot. Okay, so I'm going to show you the difference between the new sink and the old. It's like so dramatic, this ugly old yellowed plastic versus the nice new porcelain. Yeah, the new one's a tiny bit heavier, but it's worth it. The only thing I have to do is get the new little bar that raises the drain stopper up and down, which I'm at the hardware store, and yeah, so just getting rid of all this yellow crap in the RVs, all the faded yellow stuff, is really making a big difference. I'm real happy about it. So I'm lucky to actually be here in this time of year, because this is the time when saguaros bloom, and they They only bloom for a week or two of the year. And this one's just barely budding, and I'll show you one that's already blooming because they don't all bloom at the same time. Here's a smaller little saguaro that I can get kind of close to the top. Most of these are like 60, 100 feet high. So that's one little bloom that's opened. So I'll show you one of the most treacherous plants in the desert. These aren't the healthiest looking examples, but that's what I'm passing. So this little guy is a cholla. Sometimes called a teddy bear cholla because they look fuzzy. They are the things you want to definitely stay away from. And what makes them dangerous is you can see on the ground all around little pieces of cholla, some dead pieces there that have fallen off a while ago, but they shed very easily and they can lose their branches just from vibration in the ground. I mean, it doesn't take anything for them to fall off, and they are barbed. They have barbed hooks that crisscross, so they're kind of like fish hooks and Velcro both in one. And if they get stuck on something, it is extremely hard to get it off. Like if your dog walks by and gets too close, he's going to be in big trouble. And so yeah, the cholla is a real nightmare if you get too close to it, because you could just walk by, the piece will fall off and stick right on you, and you have hell getting it off. So yeah, be real careful with cholla. You can see all the little ones. The idea is for these plants to survive and thrive. All these little bits fall off, and the hope is that some animal will walk by and get a piece of cholla stuck on him and carry him, miles away, where that piece will maybe eventually come off, or he'll get it off, and then it'll be able to like sprout and grow there. So I think that's I'm not an expert on cholla, but anyway, I think that's how cholla like to operate. So here's a saguaro that's starting to bloom that I can actually get relatively close to, because he's got a low branch hanging down here, so I can let you see what a saguaro blossom looks like. It's just the first one of many, so this thing will be spectacular when he really blooms. I finally got up here on the roof and I opened this box that has been attached up here and been all caulked shut. I finally just decided I want to see what's going on, and it's pretty crazy. There's these big ass hole in the roof, big ass cables coming through, which is weird because you also have these coax cables coming up here. So I'm wondering what this stuff was about. I mean, that's a coax. This is something else. I mean, I'm sure people had satellite up here at some point, but it's not super obvious to me. Anyway, because there's a big hole in the roof, I guess I'm just going to leave this box the way it is. Make sure it's caulked up good. But there's a conduit. This wire runs through a conduit. So that's interesting. Potentially could pull through to wherever the other end of this thing is. I'll have to look on the inside and see if I can identify, because that's interesting. There may have been something up here right from the factory, perhaps, seeing as how there's a conduit in there. So I wonder what that's all about. Alright, so I'm up on the roof for the last time for a while, I hope. I've successfully recalked everything I was concerned about. Actually, maybe I'll hit that little vent real quick. But all the major stuff that looked kind of sketchy, and good news is all the caulking, the old caulking that looked kind of cracked, when I went to scrape it out, found out that it was all superficial. Still pretty rubbery and sealed up good, so that was good news, and also explains why there hadn't been any leaks, but figured I'd freshen everything up anyway. So yeah, so other than maybe one more little thing here, I think we're going to call this good for a while and won't be worried about it when I head up toward the rainy country. There's this one that I might freshen up a little bit. It's pretty cracked. Like I said, underneath that I found it's all pretty gummy and still pretty good, just surface cracking, but nevertheless. See, I scraped out the old stuff on that one, fixed up that one, scraped out and fixed up that one over there, did around that hatch over there. investigated that box and recaulked around the antenna. So so yeah, and then the roof looks to be in great shape besides. So looks like there might have been some sort of repair done over here, but it seems to be fine. So anyway, yeah, I'm pretty happy with everything. Gonna head down now and move on to other things.